Welcome to this week's BTO Talk about generative AI. My name is Michael Alf, calling from Lisbon, and I'm here with today one partner, Markus.
Hi, Michael. Yes, Markus Keiper here, professor for marketing at the National University in Singapore, and together with Michael and Rob, who will join us next week again, the founding partners of Beyond the Obvious. Today's and this week's update, very interesting. The first tech news, Michael, some stunning news.
Yeah, again, big news from Amazon. They had their huge event, and they are introducing foundation models. So really, and they're very competitive in pricing, in speed. So they're optimized for speed and cost. So they, for example, have Amazon Nova, it's called, the family, and Amazon Nova Micro is a text-only model, which delivers the lowest latency responses in the family and at very, very low cost. What does that mean? You get really good outcomes, quality outcomes for less money and faster. And there are more models, but that's just scratching the surface. If you want to know more, of course, reach out to us. So I think that's exciting. Another major player is now in the game.
Amazing. All right, and with this, we will stop the tech update because we could talk about tech just for the whole session. But today we want to continue to share with you another Gen AI topic, and that is prompting. How to actually use prompts and how to engineer prompts. That alone could be a day's workshop, but we will summarize this for you in a couple of minutes because that is one scenario in our Maverick Gen AI simulation. Michael, for the layman, first question. If I look for a restaurant in my quarter, should I use Gen AI, and which prompt should I use?
Very good question, and it's a loaded question, Markus.
Yes, absolutely.
So one of my themes in our workshops is, and it's kind of this red thread. It's not a search engine, and most people use it as a search engine, and this is a great example. Would I use that for the restaurant? I would say you can use it. You just need to be aware it might be wrong. So then the question is, well, what's the value of the results? If it can be wrong. Well, that's why you're not using it as a search function in this instance. So you would then go for another one, like give me some ideas for recipes or something like that, and not actually searching facts. So whenever you search facts, it's critical. You can still prompt that. Just say, give me the best 4 restaurants in Lisbon. And maybe you even, if you are vegan, vegetarian, steakhouse, whatever you want to do, sushi, typical Portuguese, you will get some results. You just need to verify that. So then the question is, isn't it better to actually Google it or go on Happy Cow or Happy Meals or something like that and search there, because they have actually a dictionary of it. So that's kind of on this one. But there's more to it on prompts, isn't it?
So let's use a real generated answer then. You tested it yourself. You attended the half marathon in Lisbon on the weekend. And how did you use Gen AI in order to achieve a really positive result after the race?
Yeah, look, it's a good question again, and I really try to use that every day as much as possible, and try out what works and what doesn't work. And so last Sunday I was running this half marathon, the second this year, and I thought, well, let's see what ChatGPT comes up, because I want to improve from last time. And so I gave basically the frame, the input, and I'll share the structure in a moment. And it was really nice to see what comes out. So it gave exact recommendations how to split things up into 4 buckets, basically 4 times 5K. What is the average speed on each, so that you start slower and then you pick up the pace as you go. All the things good runners should do. And it was really helpful, and it actually did work. So I had, from a feeling, it was the best run half marathon ever, out of the dozens I've done, and it felt really good. It wasn't the best fastest time, so I'm getting older too, but it was a very solid, good time, which I was very happy with, and the feeling at the end was really good. And what was interesting, as a last comment, ChatGPT, in this case, tends to provide more information than you usually want. It really explains what to do before, what meals to eat, what to do afterwards, what to do during, what mindset do you have. So things I haven't asked for, but which are valuable. So that makes it a really, really good kind of running coach in this instance. And for me, it worked really well.
So it can become a personalized answer. Does ChatGPT or any Gen AI actually store the data about you? And if you go back and say, okay, I did the run, I did this and this and this, can you please analyze what I could have done better? And what is your recommendation for the next run?
Yeah, it's another great question. So far, the standard models are not really doing that. The way you do it, you basically go back to that thread. So when you go into ChatGPT, you have on the left side, all your the list of everything you've done, and they have some kind of memory now. So they're working on it, but it's not yet this kind of personal you. This is coming, but it's not there yet. What you can do at the moment, you basically go into where you got your plan, and then you say, thank you very much for the plan, and these are my results. And actually, I did that. I think I even did that. And then you get a feedback and say, well done. And so it's very, also, by the way, which is interesting, very empathetic. Yeah, so it commends you and it congratulates you and things like that, which is nice. And then it basically picks up things which you could do even better next time, because I had 1 kilometer around 18 or so, or 19, which was a real drop, and I felt that. And so then there are some recommendations what to do next time. So this kind of gives really this interaction. It's a real running coach, and it's not even optimized running coach. Yeah. So next step would be to use, for example, a GPT or another chatbot to optimize that and put even more information into it, which for something generic like running, and yes, not everyone runs half marathons, but millions of people run half marathons and marathons in the world. So it's quite generic. And there's a lot of information about it available. So therefore, it's not necessary to actually fine-tune that and optimize that for that average runner.
So this is just a metaphor for the ones of you who wonder, why are we talking about that? That's a metaphor for your target audience and for your case. So Michael, you'd mentioned it before. What is a good structure for a successful prompt?
Yeah, so one of the structures we teach and recommend, which always gives you initially great results, is basically you give it a role. Yeah, so you are the world best runner for half marathon regular people. Yeah, something like that. Then you give context. So the context is I'm running this Lisbon half marathon on there, and typically I run around 2 hours or whatever it is. So the more the better, because the more tailored it becomes. So this can be quite long, can be also kind of only 2 or 3 sentences. Then your task is very important. So come up with the best plan, tailored to my situation. And then what we usually add is something like tone, if you want. In this case, you don't really need that because it's more like a coach friend. And so that's kind of a simple structure. So again, to repeat, role, context, task. It's a very simple 3-step, works for, I'd say, 70% of the things you are doing, and you are getting much better results than just with a very simple 1-sentence prompt. And I think that's a good starting point. For more, really reach out to us and get one of our trainings, and so that you can go a lot deeper. There's a lot more to prompting, but that gives you a solid foundation for kind of that step forward.
Absolutely. And now you wonder, how can I transfer the example of a marathon into my business? So just think about any product and service you have and the target audience. So the role would be you as ChatGPT or GenAI engine, you are the regional sales officer of my company called XYZ with the following product, DDD. And your market is Southeast Asia, and your target audience is between 15 to 25, and the following languages and the following cultures. That's the context then. And now please come up with a marketing plan, a go-to-market plan for this product in this region in the period of Christmas, for example. What would you recommend? And you will get a result. But Michael, usually we then feel like, okay, that's the first step. What would you do afterwards in order to get better?
Yeah, so there's a couple of options. So typically we talk about you get a 70 to sometimes 95%. So the half marathon was more 95 plus solution. So I didn't have to do anything. On this one, you will have to do things.
Yes.
Either two options. You either take it and use that as your framework and fill it out with your knowledge and understanding and make it good, or you iterate. So you say, okay, thanks for this plan. Can you please make adjustments here and there? Yeah, so you just kind of interact with the bot, yeah, with the system until you have something which really works, and you can point out saying, I only want section 3 updated, yeah, or I give you an example for section 4. I want it in this form, yeah, so come up with something. So because then you have something very similar to review cycles in organizations, yeah. So once you have a first draft lying there and you give that to either your manager or the team, they can then provide input, which is a lot easier than coming up from scratch. And I think this kind of from 0 to 70%, that's a huge step, makes it a lot easier. So that's kind of what you should do there. Any builds on that?
And that is one framework. And if you want to become a little bit more research driven, and you have a format like a business model canvas, for example, or the 7 P's of marketing, you can ask the same in the same stream, the same prompt. Can you please apply the 7 P's in marketing to this go-to-market plan and give me the answers? And it will do that within 30 seconds. So you can see how we always call it, Michael, you need to talk to like a baby. The baby doesn't know what you want. The baby doesn't know your background. So teach it exactly who you are, what you want, and how you want it. And the baby will become an expert and tell you this solution. So this is all about prompts. This is our next step in our Maverick simulation, where you would spend more time on that, where you would discuss with your team members which one out of 3 options you would answer that. And then in gamification, you would reach the next step and level, which we will talk about in our next session, Michael.
Absolutely. And go to beyondtheobvious.co/Maverick to find out more, or reach out to us directly here on LinkedIn via a DM and set up a conversation so we can talk to you how this can work, enhance you and your team going into 2025. I think it's another exciting year around GenAI, and we'll see you next week again. Until then, all the best and see you soon.
All the best. Take care.